All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. It's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Preaching this word and truth and sincerity on the brother Tazabah of the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And we don't get into this. I want to draw some parallels between those that followed David, right? The house of David, in the house of Saul, right? There are stark parallels in what you're seeing, especially with all these camps that try to elongate our captivity here. Even though we see the prophecies coming to pass, they don't really believe. So when it comes down time for them to actually sit here and do those things were commanded for salvation and hasten the day, they're not doing it. Why? Because they have a good life here. But the house of David, man, they were vexed from the jump. All right, so let's get into this. I'm gonna play this video. You're gonna hear Bishop Nathaniel go off again, and Lord, will all these precepts and the Spirit be with me to make this edifying.
Palestine, when you're seeing everything that's going on with these hurricanes, if you had to guess, how much time do you think that we might have left as a people right now in this current state of America?
My rough estimate, a guess, this is a guess.
Right.
It's not biblical. Anywhere between 20 and 30 years. 20, 30, something like that.
Is that
That's just a
hectic?
guess.
Yes.
Anywhere from between 20 and 30 years with everything that's going on. And for somehow we got 20 or 30 years. Why do you need 20 or 30 years to come to the conclusion that this place is almost out the door? Is this dude not watching? Or if he is watching, is he paid off? Like, these things got to be brought into attention. All right, they're determining to cancel habeas corpus. Basically, you don't have a right to contest whether or not you're being detained. All right, so all you get stopped on the street. You get stopped on the street, that's it. You at Esau's whim. No law. They sat there and just said that they can legally deport U.S. citizens. Right? ICE is locking niggas up. They even got citizenship here. Well, they're going to determine this, but this dude is talking about you got 20 or 30 years. You got all these Edomite nations breaking off one from another. That's Daniel what? The forget the chapter, but going into the 10 toes that shall not cleave one to another. You got all these prophecies come to pass, but somehow we got 20 or 30 years, man. This we at the end. But this is actually a show that shows you that these dudes ain't the house of David. They the house of Saul. They want to keep this. And when you go to 1 Samuel, the 22nd chapter, start at the first verse. It says, "And David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam." Adullam. And it says, "And when his brethren and all his father's house heard, they went down thither to him, and everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and became a captain, and he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men." Did the men that followed David, were they pleased with the current rulership? Were they comfortable in captivity? Were they comfortable with things that vexed their soul? No, they were vexed. They were chafed there's a scripture that says chafed in the spirit. Yeah, here it is. 2 Samuel 17 and 8. Yeah, that's the one. This is 2 Samuel 17 and 8. It says, for he said, Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Right? When you have the spirit of the Lord, you're always chafed in your mind, man. It says wisdom maketh the wise man mad, man. But these dudes are comfortable and settled on their leads. The house of David was vexed. When you so irritated by something, you want the shit to end. But these dudes are elongating the captivity, man. But this shows you who the Lord is really dealing with. That house of David is being brought back. Right? This is Matthew 11 and 28. It says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You see, Yahushua was coming to those that were vexed, that were suffering, that wanted some deliverance, not to those that were settled on their leaves thinking they had 20 or 30 years of good days. This dude, Nate, is like, what is he, 50, 60 years old? This dude, the nigga don't got 20 or 30 years, man. His health is shit now. So he just passing this on. He think that he's not going to have to go through it. That's what it is. If you think you got 20 or 30 years, you at 60 years old before the Lord comes back. You're not in the mindset of you got to go through this shit. You're the mindset of not my lifetime. You as good as a damn Christian, man. 1 Peter or 2 Peter 2. And take these things in mind, man, because this is an evident show that the house of David and those that are vexed and want out now, if you want out now, you in the right spirit. This is 2 Peter 2 and 6. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with the overthrow, making them an ensample to those that after should live ungodly. All right. And we're living in that time when that same ungodly souls are back here today, man. Moles, disobedient to parents, niggas that don't want to uphold a righteous standard. They're all back in this time. It says, and delivered Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, man. When you have real wisdom, you get vexed. Your spirit is chafed. You're chafed in mind and thought. You want the shit to be over, just like the men that followed David. Everybody that followed David, they was catching hell. They knew it wasn't right. They wanted whatever they was going through to end. They wanted this place to be destroyed. They wanted a real rulership wherein dwelleth righteousness. They didn't want to elongate whatever the hell they was in. They wanted to replace it with righteousness. And this is what you got the difference between the men of Great Millstone, our elders and apostles, and these other camps. Every time you talk to these other camps, they telling you got all this time. It started off with Alizé, now Bishop Nathaniel. We'll see what ISUPK say. We'll see what Zabak say, HOI. But here, man, bros is vexed. Bros is tired. Bros want this place done already. Ezekiel 9 and 4, right? It says, and Yahweh said unto me, go through the midst of the city, and through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst, just like the men that followed David. Because they knew, like, it made no sense, you being an Israelite, the Lord giving you the biggest of the blessings, and you got debt. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Let's 22. It said, and everyone that was in distress, man, you the children of Israel, you serve the living power. You know what it is. And you looking at your present situation. Why the hell am I distressed? Right? Everyone that was in debt. How the hell am I in debt? You understand that the scriptures tell you that the Lord made everything for the elect's sake. These things start weighing in your mind, man. You start looking out into the world. I'm not doing nothing that these wicked niggas are doing. You start sighing and crying for the abominations that are being done, man. Everyone that is discontented. Let's get that word, man. Mar. Bitterness of water or food, of harlots end of wickedness, cry, of pain, bitterly. It says bitter literally or figuratively as a noun, bitterness, angry, bitter, chafed, discontented, great, heavy. Let's get it in etymology. Discontent, deprived of contentment, right? You ain't got no rest. You're not in the space of being content. You dissatisfied. Shit ain't going how it's supposed to go. It says unquiet in mind through having one's desires unsatisfied. You the children of the Lord, following the ways of the Lord, and yet you don't have nothing that you should have, man. This is what the men of David had, and the true men in these times would have too. And they gathered themselves unto him and he became a captain over them, and there were with him 400 men. That's the difference between somebody who's really serving the Lord, especially in this wicked, perverse generation, and somebody who's saying you got 20 or 30 years left. 20 or 30 years left.
Palestine, when you're seeing everything that's going
Rough estimate.
20 or 30 years left, man. Let me get this thumbnail. Got no motherfucking 20 or 30 years left. This place got to go now. Right? The Lord is setting a mark upon the heads of the men that sigh and cry now. It's Proverbs 8 and 13. It says, the fear of Yahweh is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy in the evil way, in the forward mouth do I hate. You see, if you feared the Lord, you would hate this place so much that you want to end it. It wouldn't be so hard for you to sit here and see that prophecies are coming to pass where you don't got 20 or 30 years. You don't think that you had Alizé said with anywhere from within the next 100 to 1,000, I think he said. Well, if we at the end, why the hell are, man, bro, the scriptures say the wicked shall not live out half his days, but you giving us the captivity for 1,000 years. Man, you niggas in this insincere. You're not affected by these times because you eating. You fat. You settled on your leaves, like the scriptures say. But bros, it's in the thick of it, man. We hurt. Hebrews 10. We hurt. We vexed by this place. We don't got no rest. We dealing with shit in the body, shit on our minds, our home situation. Bro, we completely through with this place. Hebrews 10 and 32, it says, but call to remembrance the former days in which after you were enlightened and after you were illuminated, ye endured a great flight of afflictions, partly whilst you were made a gazing stock both by reproaches and afflictions. All right, these dudes ain't got no reproaches or afflictions. They're giving this title and a claim. They make all these little videos. to sit here and make them so important. They ride in on horses to the Passover. How shot he even ride on no motherfucking horse? He rode on the ass. It says, and partly while ye became companions of them that were so used. So what? How in the hell are you in a position? This is the difference, man. If you're in a position to where you become companions to people that are used, laughed at, scorned, you go through all this hell. You don't want to sit here and wait and sit in this shit. And if you got a problem with my language, man, get over it, bro. Get over it, man. Why should some harsh words keep you from seeing what I'm saying, man? From seeing what the Spirit is feeding me to say. For ye had companions, for ye had compassions of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoil of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance. You see, when you know you got something better coming, you willing to leave everything behind. But these dudes, ISUPK, IUIC, Bishop Nathaniel, they don't see this is ending. They're feeding themselves. So they don't feel anything bad. They look at this kingdom like, hey, I'm getting mine. I'm not in a rush. Ezekiel 34 and 2, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus say Yahweh power unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. All right? This dude is feeding himself.
Estimate.
Jet setting, living off the congregation. You're not doing your own work. It ain't nothing wrong with paying tithes and paying the men, making sure the men have money and substance so that they can sit here and tend to the flock. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start going excessive, right? You had Sakari sit there, did a whole fundraiser because a camera broke. But then we find out that Alazar made $100,000 or six figures, whatever he made in a whole year. If you made that much in a whole year off the congregation, why the hell did you need a fundraiser to replace a camera? Why did you need that? I think he made over 100,000 because I think they said he was pulling in like 20,000-30,000 a month. That's what he said. So why the hell would you need the congregation to foot up money for a new camera? You abusing the church. You feeding yourselves. IUIC had a dude in their congregation that niggas was calling in the pocket, taking from him. Boom, pulling that money from him. Abuse that man. That's wrong as hell, man. But they're feeding themselves. It says, should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. You live in a good life, but you don't feed those under you. You don't make sure everybody good. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have you healed that which is sick, that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which is driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. They did, and then there's a report that came out that somebody in IUIC got pistol whipped, beat up, arm broken. Look at the results of these fucking camps, man. You didn't hear any of that over here in Great Millstone. Somebody fuck up over here, you gone. You go too far left, you gone. And then we blast your shit on the airways so everybody know to avoid you. It says, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. And Jake ain't got no covering in his time because these dudes ain't putting out a full warning. It shows you why they're comfortable staying here for another 20, 30 years. But the average Jake that's listening, you catch him pure fucking hell. You catching pure hell. You don't got enough for nothing. The price of everything's going up. It's hard to get a job, hard to keep a job, right? They cutting down hours, right? Zephaniah 1 and 12, it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candlesticks and punish the men that are settled on their leads. These dudes are settled on their leads, and they pushing a message to put you, Jake, back to sleep. Because when they tell you got 20, 30 years, this dude already 60 years old at least. Right? That mean what? He don't expect to be alive when this place go down. That say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, neither will he do evil. And he's saying all that stuff right now. We got 20, 30 years. He ain't going to do good or evil right now. Just keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. And then when Esau brings the chip, and they bring out these austerity measures, when they start pulling in these concentration camps, they're putting in all the laws in place in order to deport U.S. citizens, though. So that includes you niggas. Right? They already got plans to get these migrants, the Northern Kingdom, right? The so-called Latinos. They already got plans for them, and now they coming down on you. And it's this case with Hinton, the dude that ran over the cop. That's emboldening these Edomites to be like, nah, fuck all this. You ain't got that much time, man. Therefore, their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink of the wine thereof. And so you that's sitting here putting out the false message, you about to fail. The Lord about to strip everything from you dudes. This is John 11. In 48, it says, if we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. No, is that the right one? Yeah. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall take away both our place and nation. And this is how they're moving. They're saying things like they're trying to make sure they get to keep what they got going on. Why push this day off? Just say it straight up. Esau the devil, so-called white man, America's Babylon the Great. The mark of the beast is the sea hip. And they're getting ready to pull in this system to put the people under the biggest oppression that the world has ever seen. And it's going to be global. Repent. The Lord's coming. Don't take the MOTB, the implantable sea hip. Right? The true name of the Lord is Yahweh Shai. Just put out the real message. But no, they want to keep their place. So they put the people to sleep. Isaiah 51. And 14, the captive exile hasten that he may loose. So are they in a state where they feel captive? No, because they're not hastening today. 20, 30 years. And that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. And this dude said 20 or 30 years is when the Lord comes back. So in his mind, he gonna die here. He ain't captive, man. He ain't worried about hastening. It says, but I am Yahweh thy power that divided the sea, whose waves roared. Yahweh of hosts is his name. These dudes can't be at the house of David. Shalom.